Part 1. The Frozen Trail. The wind howled like a banshee, a relentless force that seemed intent on stripping them bare. The group of 9, led by the charismatic Igor Dyatlov, pressed on, their breath misting in the frigid air. The Ural Mountains, a formidable barrier between Europe and Asia, were no place for the faint of heart. Yet these young, ambitious hikers, mostly students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, were determined to conquer its peaks. Dyatlov, a seasoned mountaineer with a contagious enthusiasm, had meticulously planned the expedition. Each member was well equipped, their backpacks laden with essential supplies, warm clothing, high-calorie food, and state-of-the-art survival gear. As they delved deeper into the wilderness, the landscape transformed into a stark, wintry wonderland. The once vibrant forest, now cloaked in a thick blanket of snow, seemed to watch their every move with a silent, ominous presence. "It's getting colder," Yuri, a lanky young man with a penchant for philosophical musings, remarked, his voice barely audible over the wind. "We'll be fine," Dyatlov replied, his voice steady. "Just a few more hours and we'll be at the camp." As darkness descended, casting long, eerie shadows across the snow, the group found a suitable spot to set up camp. The wind howled with increasing intensity, rattling the tent and shaking the ground beneath them. Huddled together for warmth, they shared stories and laughter, the flickering light of their lanterns casting a warm glow on their faces. "I wonder what lies beyond this mountain," Zinaida mused, her eyes fixed on the silhouette of Kholat Syakhl, a peak shrouded in local legends. "Perhaps ancient secrets, or maybe just a breathtaking view," Dyatlov replied, a hint of mystery in his voice. Little did they know, this would be their final night. The morning would bring a discovery that would forever haunt the annals of mountaineering history.
February 26, 1959. A search party, braving the harsh conditions of the Ural Mountains, stumbles upon a sight that will forever be etched in the annals of true crime. A tent, ripped open from the inside, lies abandoned on the slope of Kholat Syakhl, the dead mountain. Scattered around the tent, and further into the icy wilderness, are the bodies of 9 young hikers, their lives tragically cut short. The first 2 bodies, Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko, are found near a meager fire, partially undressed, their bodies bearing the marks of hypothermia and minor burns. Further up the slope, the search party discovers the bodies of Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Kolmogorova, and Rustem Slobodin. They seem to be heading back towards the tent, their clothing disheveled, their bodies showing signs of frostbite, and in Slobodin's case, a non-fatal skull fracture. But the true horror is yet to be revealed. Weeks later, buried under 4 meters of snow in a ravine, the remaining 4 hikers are found. Ludmila Dubinina, her body bearing severe chest trauma and missing her tongue and eyes. Alexander Kolevatov with minor abrasions. And finally, Nikolai Tebo-Prignolel and Semyon Zolotaryov, both with massive chest injuries, their bodies suggesting a violent impact. The scene is one of chaos and confusion. The hikers' erratic behavior, fleeing the tent in the dead of night, inadequately dressed, separating from each other, failing to build a proper fire, all suggest a state of panic and disorientation. But what caused this panic? What drove these experienced hikers to abandon their shelter and venture into the freezing wilderness? The injuries, particularly the severe internal trauma suffered by Dubinina, Solotaryov, and Thibaut Brignolel, defy easy explanation. They suggest a force far greater than a simple fall or exposure to the elements. And the missing tongue and eyes of Dubinina, a chilling detail that continues to fuel speculation about unknown creature, ritualistic practices, or even something more sinister. The official explanation delivered by Soviet authorities after a brief investigation was underwhelming, to say the least. They attributed the deaths to a so-called compelling natural force, a vague and unsatisfying conclusion. that failed to address the many unanswered questions around the incident. But the official report couldn't silence the whispers of doubt. The hikers' erratic behavior, the unexplained injuries, the lack of a clear cause of death, it all pointed to something more sinister, something lurking in the shadows of the dead mountain.
Part 3. The Theories. The official investigation into the Dyatlov Pass incident, conducted in 1959, proved frustratingly inconclusive. The authorities, after a cursory examination of the evidence, attributed the deaths to a compelling natural force. This vague explanation, however, failed to satisfy those who delved deeper into the chilling details of the case. The bizarre injuries, the hikers' peculiar behavior, and the overall eeriness of the scene begged for a more comprehensive explanation. Over the decades, the Dyatlov Pass incident has become a magnet for speculation, giving rise to a multitude of theories, each attempting to unravel the enigma. These theories range from plausible natural explanations to more outlandish propositions involving secret military experiments and even paranormal activity. Some of the natural explanations are: avalanche. While the initial investigation dismissed an avalanche due to the lack of evidence at the scene, this theory has seen a resurgence in recent years. In 2021, researchers proposed that a rare type of avalanche, a so-called slab avalanche, could have been the culprit. Unlike typical avalanches that require steep slopes, slab avalanches occur when a cohesive layer of snow detaches from a less steep incline. This could explain the lack of obvious avalanche debris. The researchers suggest that the hikers, startled by the initial snowslide and fearing a larger one, cut their way out of the tent and fled in a panic. The force of the slab impact could explain some of the injuries, and the disorientation and injuries sustained could have led to poor decision-making in the freezing temperatures. However, this theory has some weaknesses. Critics still argue that the slope wasn't steep enough even for a slab avalanche, and there were no other signs of significant snow movement. Additionally, the specific injuries sustained by some hikers, like the localized blunt force trauma and missing tongues, are not easily explained by an avalanche alone. Others point to hypothermia and paradoxical undressing. Hypothermia, a dangerous drop in body temperature, can lead to confusion and irrational behavior. One such behavior is called paradoxical undressing, where individuals remove their clothing despite freezing conditions. This could explain why some hikers were found partially clothed. The theory suggests that the hikers, exposed to extreme cold and possibly suffering from frostbite, became disoriented and confused. This mental state, combined with the physical effects of a hypothermia, could have led them to make poor decisions, such as leaving the shelter of the tent. However, this theory also has some weaknesses. While hypothermia could explain the undressing and some of the disorientation, it doesn't account for the severe internal injuries, particularly the fractured ribs and skull damage, which are not typical of hypothermia deaths. Another theory are katabatic winds. Katabatic winds are powerful, cold winds that rush down mountainsides. They can reach incredibly high speeds and create dangerous conditions. Proponents of this theory argue that a sudden, intense katabatic wind could have struck the tent with tremendous force, causing it to collapse and potentially inflicting injuries on the hikers. The wind's pressure could also have created a sense of suffocation, leading them to flee in a panic. However, while a powerful wind could explain the damaged tent and the initial flight, it doesn't fully account for the severe internal injuries or the distance some hikers traveled from the tent. Additionally, there's no meteorological evidence to suggest a particularly strong katabatic wind event occurred that night. Another theory talks about infrasound. Infrasound refers to sound waves with frequencies below the range of human hearing. These low-frequency sounds can cause feelings of unease, anxiety, and even physical symptoms like disorientation and nausea. The unique topography of the Dyatlov Pass, with its valleys and slopes, could create conditions for infrasound generation. Some researchers suggest that exposure to infrasound could have induced panic and hallucinations in the hikers, leading them to flee the tent and behave irrationally. While infrasound can have psychological and physical effects, there's really no direct evidence to confirm its presence on the Dyatlov Pass during the incident. Moreover, it's unclear whether infrasound alone could explain the severe injuries sustained by some of the hikers. But there's also theory about human involvement in the incident, especially military tests. This theory suggests that the hikers inadvertently wandered into a secret military testing ground and were accidentally killed by experimental weapons or exposed to hazardous materials. Proponents point to the reports of strange lights and objects in the sky around the time of the incident, suggesting possible military activity. They argue that the authorities covered up the true cause of death to avoid revealing classified information. However, there's no official record or evidence to support the existence of military testing in the area. Furthermore, the specific injuries sustained by the hikers don't really align with known weapon effects. There's also a theory about conflicts with indigenous people. This theory posits that the hikers encountered the local Mansi people and that a conflict ensued, leading to the hikers' deaths. Some speculate that the hikers might have inadvertently violated a sacred site or offended the Mansi people in some way, provoking a violent response. However, the Mansi people are known for their peaceful nature, and there's no historical evidence of aggression towards outsiders. Additionally, there were no signs of a struggle or any indication of a conflict at the campsite. There are also many paranormal explanations, like Yetis. This theory attributes the incident to an attack by a Yeti or another unknown creature. Proponents point to the strange injuries and the lack of other explanations as evidence of a creature encounter. They draw parallels with other cryptid sightings and legends associated with the Ural Mountains. But there are no physical evidence, such as footprints or other traces, to support the presence of a Yeti or any other unknown creature. The injuries, while unusual, could potentially be explained by other means. Some people even point towards supernatural forces. This theory suggests that the hikers fell victim to a curse or malevolent spirits inhabiting the Dyatlov Pass. The Dyatlov Pass is steeped in local folklore, and some believe that the hikers disturbed a sacred site or angered the spirits of the mountain. This theory draws on the eerie atmosphere and unexplained elements of the incident. While this supernatural explanation adds to the mystery and intrigue, it lacks concrete evidence. There's no way to scientifically prove or disprove the existence of curses or spirits. Therefore, the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to be a source of fascination and debate. While the avalanche theory, particularly the slab avalanche hypothesis, has gained traction in recent years, none of the theories explain all the aspects of this perplexing event. The combination of unusual injuries, strange behavior, and the lack of a definitive explanation has cemented the Dyatlov Pass incident as one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century. Part 4. The Supernatural Element. The Ural Mountains, a vast and ancient range stretching across Russia, have long been steeped in folklore and shrouded in an aura of mystery. For centuries, indigenous tribes have whispered tales of strange creatures lurking in the shadows, of spirits that roam the peaks, and of places where the veil between worlds is thin. The Dyatlov Pass incident, with its inexplicable elements and chilling details, has inevitably become intertwined with these supernatural narratives. The Mansi people, indigenous to the region, hold a deep reverence for the mountains, believing them to be inhabited by powerful spirits. They tell stories of Menk, a giant who roams the peaks, and of other supernatural beings who guard the sacred sites. Some believe that the hikers, by venturing into this sacred territory, may have inadvertently disturbed these spirits, incurring their wrath. The mountains do not forgive those who trespass, an elder Mansi woman was quoted as saying after the incident. They demand respect, and those who do not heed their warnings pay the price. Fueling the supernatural theories are the strange lights observed in the sky around the time of the incident. Witnesses reported seeing glowing orbs and unusual aerial phenomena, leading some to speculate that the hikers may have encountered something truly from another world. Could it be that they stumbled upon a portal to another dimension? A paranormal enthusiast pondered. Or perhaps they were visited by beings from beyond our understanding. While skeptics dismiss these notions as mere folklore and imagination, the sheer strangeness of the incident leaves room for doubt. The hikers' bizarre injuries, their seemingly irrational behavior, and the lack of a logical explanation have all contributed to the growing belief that something supernatural may have been at play. There are forces at work in this world that we cannot comprehend, a local shaman proclaimed. The mountains hold secrets that are best left undisturbed. Some researchers have even proposed that the hikers may have experienced a collective hallucination, driven to madness by the extreme conditions and isolation of the wilderness. This theory, known as the mass hysteria hypothesis, suggests that the hikers' perception of reality became distorted, leading them to act in ways that defied logic. Imagine the psychological impact of being stranded in that desolate landscape, the psychologist explained. The darkness, the cold, the sense of isolation. It could have triggered a shared delusion, a descent into madness. This theory, while intriguing, fails to fully explain the physical injuries sustained by the hikers. However, it does highlight the psychological impact of extreme environments and the potential for the human mind to play tricks on itself in times of stress. Let's have a closer look at some of the possible supernatural explanations. The banshee and the spirits of the mountain. The banshee, the indigenous people of the Ural Mountains, have a profound spiritual connection to the land. They believe that the mountains are alive with spirits, both benevolent and malevolent. These spirits, they say, demand respect, and those who trespass upon sacred ground do so at their own peril. Menk, the mountain giant. Banshee legends speak of Menk, a giant who dwells in the mountains and protects the land from intruders. Some believe that the hikers, by venturing into Menk's domain, angered the spirit, leading to their demise. The Cursed Mountain. Kolat Sayakal, the mountain where the incident occurred, translates to Dead Mountain in the Banshee language. This name itself hints at the dark history and the sense of foreboding. Some believe the mountain is cursed, and the hikers' deaths were a fulfillment of that curse. While there is no physical evidence to support the Banshee legends, the oral traditions and deep-rooted beliefs of the indigenous people provide a compelling narrative. Some researchers point to the hikers' decision to camp on the eastern slope of Kolat Sayakal, a place considered sacred by the Banshee, as a possible trigger for the tragic events. Strange lights and otherworldly encounters. Several witnesses, including other hikers and meteorologists in the region, reported seeing strange lights in the sky around the time of the incident. These lights were described as glowing orbs moving erratically and changing color. UFO sightings. Some have interpreted these lights as evidence of extraterrestrial activity, suggesting that the hikers may have encountered a UFO or even been abducted. Interdimensional portals. Others propose that the lights could indicate the presence of interdimensional portals or wormholes, suggesting that the hikers might have stumbled into another dimension or encountered beings from beyond our reality. While the eyewitness accounts of the lights are intriguing, there's no concrete evidence to confirm their nature or origin. Some researchers suggest that the lights could be explained as natural phenomena, such as ball lightning or auroras. However, the unusual behavior and descriptions of the lights leave room for more outlandish interpretations. Mass hysteria and the psychology of fear. The extreme conditions and the isolation of the wilderness can have a profound impact on the human psyche. Some researchers propose that the hikers may have experienced a collective hallucination or a shared delusion driven by fear, stress, and the harsh environment. The power of suggestion. In a state of heightened anxiety, individuals can become susceptible to suggestion, leading to a shared perception of reality that may not be accurate. The hiker, facing the darkness, the cold, and the unknown, could have succumbed to a collective delusion, influencing their actions and ultimately leading to their demise. While there's no direct evidence to support the mass hysteria theory, The hiker's seemingly irrational behavior, such as fleeing the tent without proper clothing and splitting up in the darkness, could be interpreted as signs of a shared delusion. The autopsy reports revealed a range of injuries that don't fit neatly into any single explanation. While some injuries were consistent with hypothermia and a struggle through harsh terrain, others remain perplexing. 3 hikers, Ludmila Dubinina, Semyon Solatoryov, and Nikolai Tabo-Brignolel, suffered major internal injuries, including fractured ribs and, in Dubinina's case, a missing tongue and eyes. These injuries were described as similar to those sustained in a high-speed car crash, yet there were no external signs of impact. This has led to speculation about forces beyond the conventionally understood. Some theories propose that these injuries could have been caused by a rare type of non-traumatic avalanche, where the compression of air within the snowpack could cause internal damage without leaving external marks. Others suggest the possibility of a military weapon test, though no evidence supports this. The absence of Dubinina's tongue and eyes is particularly disturbing. While some argue that scavenging animals could be responsible, the lack of other signs of animal disturbance on her body cast doubt on this explanation. All of this has fueled speculation about ritualistic practices or even encounters with unknown creatures. However, no concrete evidence support these claims. One of the hikers, Yuri Krivoshenko, had a camera with him, but it was never recovered. This missing piece of evidence has tantalized investigators and fueled speculation for decades. Some believe that the camera might have captured images or footage that could shed light on the incident, possibly documenting the events leading up to the tragedy, or even capturing the compelling natural force mentioned in the official report. The camera could have been lost or damaged during the hiker's frantic escape from the tent, or it might have been buried in the snow and remains undiscovered. Some even suggest it was deliberately removed by authorities to conceal sensitive information. Traces of radioactivity were found on the clothing and bodies of some of the hikers. The discovery has added another layer of complexity to the mystery. The source of this radiation remains unknown. Some speculate that the hikers might have encountered radioactive materials from a military test site or a natural source. Others suggest that the radiation could be linked to the strange lights observed in the sky, hinting at a possible extraterrestrial or paranormal connection. One theory suggests that the hikers might have come into contact with radioactive minerals while exploring a nearby mine. Another possibility is that the radiation was a result of fallout from nuclear weapon testing, which was common during that era. However, the levels of radiation found on the hikers were reportedly higher than what would be expected from background radiation or fallout. These unanswered questions highlight the limitations of our understanding and the enduring power of the unknown. They fueled the ongoing fascination with the Dyatlov Pass incident, inspiring new investigations and theories. The unexplained injuries, the missing camera, and the radiation all challenge the official explanation of a compelling natural force. They suggest that something more complex and possibly more sinister might have been at play. Still, the official explanation from the authorities is that the injury sustained was because of a compelling natural force. What this natural force was has still not been fully explained.
Part 5. The Enduring Mystery. The Dyatlov Pass incident, a chilling enigma that has captivated the world for decades, continues to defy explanation. Despite numerous investigations, countless theories, and renewed interest fueled by documentaries and online forums, the truth behind the tragic deaths of 9 young hikers remains shrouded in mystery. It's like a puzzle with missing pieces, a seasoned investigator confessed, his voice laced with frustration. We have fragments of information, tantalizing clues, but the full picture remains obscured. The official explanation, attributing the deaths to a compelling natural force, feels inadequate, a mere placeholder in the absence of a satisfying solution. The bizarre injuries, the hikers' erratic behavior, and the chilling details of the scene, they all defy easy categorization, whispering of something more profound, something that transcends our understanding of the natural world. It's as if the mountains themselves refuse to yield their secrets, a local whispered, his eyes reflecting the ancient wisdom of the land. The theories abound, each offering a glimpse into a possible scenario, a potential explanation, but none can fully account for all the peculiarities of the incident. The avalanche theory, the infrasound hypothesis, the military testing scenario, the encounter with cryptic creatures, the curse of the ancient spirits, they all hang in the air, tantalizingly close, yet frustratingly out of reach. We may never know the full truth, a scientist admitted, his voice tinged with regret. But the pursuit of that truth, the relentless questioning, is what keeps the story alive. The Dyatlov Pass incident serves as a stark reminder of the power of the unknown, the forces that lie beyond our comprehension. It is a testament to the fragility of human life in the face of nature's raw power and the mysteries that lurk in the shadows of our world. It's a story that humbles us, a philosopher mused. It reminds us that we are but visitors in this world, subject to forces we cannot control. The enduring mystery of the Dyatlov Pass incident has transcended the realm of simple tragedy. It has become a cultural phenomenon, a symbol of the enduring human fascination with the unexplained. It has inspired books, films, documentaries, and countless online discussions, each attempting to shed light on the darkness that enveloped those 9 young lives. It's a story that will continue to be told and retold, a storyteller predicted. Each generation will grapple with its enigma, seeking answers in the whispers of the wind and the shadows of the mountains. The mountains of the Ural region, silent witnesses to the tragedy, remain stoic, guarding their secrets. The Dyatlov Pass, a place forever etched in history, stands as a monument to the unknown, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden in the heart of the wilderness. And as we continue to ponder the fate of those 9 hikers, we are left with a profound sense of wonder and renewed appreciation for the delicate balance between humanity and the forces that shape our world. The Dyatlov Pass incident, a tale of adventure, tragedy, and enduring mystery, will forever hold a place in our collective consciousness, a chilling reminder of the power of the unknown and the enduring human quest for answers. The Dyatlov Pass incident continues to resonate with people around the world, inspiring a range of reactions, from fear and fascination to scientific inquiry and spiritual contemplation. It has become a touchstone for discussions about the limits of human understanding and the power of nature. The incident has sparked numerous scientific studies, with researchers exploring various theories, including avalanches, hypothermia, infrasound, and even military involvement. However, despite these efforts, a definitive answer remains elusive. The Dyatlov Pass incident has inspired countless works of fiction, from books and movies to video games. It has become a symbol of the unknown, the eerie, and the unexplainable. One thing is certain, the injuries the hikers sustained are not compatible with a mere accident. Ludmila Dubinina, a young woman, full of life, was found with severe chest trauma, her ribs crushed inwards with a force comparable to a high-speed car crash. But there were no external marks, no sign of a collision, and even more disturbing, her tongue and eyes were missing. Semyon Solotaryov, a seasoned hiker, suffered similar internal injuries, his ribs fractured in multiple places. And Nikolai Debo-Brignolel, a student with a bright future ahead of him, had a massive skull fracture, an injury that would have been instantly fatal. These weren't the kind of injuries you'd expect from a fall, an avalanche, or even an animal attack. These were injuries that spoke of a brutal assault, a force beyond anything these experienced hikers could have anticipated. The official explanation of a so-called compelling natural force simply doesn't add up. It fails to account for the severity of the injuries, the missing body parts, and the sheer brutality of the scene.